This place isn't impressive. It isn't fun or magical. It's a prison. It's a ruse. It's a lie.
Well, that just sucks, because I always saw you as manager material.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Blood and Black Rum podcast. I'm Ryan from CultSploitation.com, and I'm joined with my co-host Martin.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going pretty well. It's almost Turkey Day. Gobble gobble. Actually, this episode will release after Thanksgiving night, probably, unless I get ambitious and I put it out before Friday.
No, you should put it out on Friday.
Yeah, that's our normal release schedule.
Well, but, it's synchronistic with the topic.
Yeah, I probably won't, but it'll exactly. It makes sense to do it for Friday because this episode is it's not technically a Thanksgiving episode. We do Thanksgiving episodes here and there throughout the seasons that we've done, but this time we're actually skipping over Thanksgiving and going directly to Black Friday. Which is, I don't know, it's definitely not my favorite time of the year, but we used to have fun during Black Fridays, right?
Of course.
It's not as big anymore like it used to be.
Well, this was a problem that we discussed with the Thanksgiving Eli Roth shitbag movie. It was more about Black Friday, but at the same time, it's hilarious because these films are taking place in the early 2020s. You know what isn't like that big of a thing anymore? People going to the actual store to do buy things at Black Friday. They just do it online. So, like, if you set this film like in 2005, you got me. But, the idea that people are running to their local toy store for Black Friday deals, I don't believe it.
Yeah, they don't. Well, yeah. I mean, even so, now people are not really flocking, and at least that I know of. I haven't been out in the scruff of things for a while,
and we used to. The fun thing too is we used to go and we never bought anything. We just went for the fun and the shit show, getting up at midnight and pounding 5-hour energies and going to all the stores and watching people. Like, one of the fondest memories of my life will be us waiting in front of JCPenney, and there's a mob of people, and they haven't opened their doors yet at the mall until 6 or 7 o'clock. Yeah. And once they opened those doors, people were running around and grabbing shit. And Ryan just grabbed a random case of luggage that was out for sale, and then he's like, he wasn't planning on buying it, but he's like, we were walking around with it for 15 minutes and we got into the suits section. He's like, you know what? I don't need this. And he just left it there. And he's like, we're going to make somebody stay. Someone's going to be like, I really needed that fucking luggage. And they're going to find it just hidden there. Those were the days.
That's what I was kind of referencing is that whole scenario, because that was a time probably, I don't know, 10 years ago, something like that, where we decided that we were going to go out that time. And, again, that was a fun time. I think it was fun in the sense that even at that time, the bleed over was not into Thanksgiving. It was still
you had to be
Black Friday, the morning of Black Friday. It wasn't like, hey, it's 6 p.m. You just finished your pumpkin pie. You want to run over to Walmart and grab the deals that have already dropped over there, which I find to be just... It takes the pleasure out of the whole experience or idea of Black Friday being on Thanksgiving night. It's like, no, for one thing, it's enough to feel like an asshole where like somebody had to go quickly finish their Thanksgiving dinner and be like, I gotta get to bed. I gotta get up at 2 a.m. to go open the store. But then to top it off is like, okay, here you go. Now they can't even have a Thanksgiving because you're like, here's a donut for breakfast. Got to get to the store. Got to get it ready. Got to get it open. It's like that kind of shit. But now we've even moved past that for Black Friday, where now it's like, it's Black Month. It's November. That means we're doing Black Friday deals all month long and all December long. And they're not really deals at all. It's just the same shit that we always have on
Cyber Wednesday,
Yeah, it's really kind of ruined the fucking the way that things have. I don't know.
What became of society? I mean, for God's sakes, and Jingle All the Way, Arnold's out hunting a Turbo Man like 2 days from Christmas.
I know.
So he's like really late. Like those guys are really late to the party, Phil Hartman wasn't though. He was on top of that.
That's right. You got started early. And even so now, especially for our Thanksgiving this year, which is November 27th, it's pretty late in the game for shopping in general. Because, a lot of times Thanksgiving falls around like the 23rd, the 25th, something like 24th. And we're like almost a whole week, almost into December at this point. So if you haven't started now by Black Friday, it's like, what have you been waiting for?
But you know what? It's great because that means the later Thanksgiving is, the more longer it holds off Mariah Carey from fucking coming through, and Brian Setzer and Michael Bublé having a living for a month.
That's right. Mariah Carey, Michael Bublé, they rise from the dead. It's like Dracula pushing open the coffin.
Which is, that's, one of the funniest things, too. You don't hear it's not like people are really listening to the radio that much anymore. But for somebody who had as many goddamn humongous hits, Mariah Carey's songs have been, like, thrown into the bin of time. And it's like, from, like, 88 to, like, 2008, she was, like, everywhere. Songs are huge. And now it's like, what do you remember it for? Just All I Want for Christmas Is You.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right. All right. Well, I think we've kind of dithered around what we're talking about here long enough. We're doing the 2021 film Black Friday, which I think for a lot of people is probably one that's kind of been forgotten. It's really not that mentioned all that often. I do recall when it came out, and I think the biggest thing about when it came out was that it was like, hey, you know who's in this movie? Bruce Campbell. And that
I thought you were going to say that this is prime To Be Fair.
That's right.
The modern day equivalent of going direct to home video. Direct to Tubi.
That's right.
And it's not Black Friday. It's Black Friday.
Black Friday.
There's an exclamation point at the end. So, there's going to be shenanigans.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, had you ever heard of this one before?
No, not at all.
Not a thing, right?
Not a damn thing.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the case. Like, it really has flown under the radar since its release in 2021. It's been 4 years. It also had the inopportune time of releasing during, the COVID pandemic really taking off. And then especially considering the actual content of the movie, which is about sort of like the spread of almost like a zombified state, doesn't really lend itself well when you're in the midst of a pandemic to like, wanting to watch this movie about the spread of disease in a small area. So, and it released, it looks like around like September of 2021. So yeah, we would have been fully blown into the COVID craze. And I think that, at this time too, this movie was shot, I think in like early 2021 or maybe even the beginning of the end of 2020. So I do also think that it was affected by COVID a little bit, in that there's probably limited amount of people that were on set at any given time, things like that. So
yeah, it was filmed in from November 16th to December 16th in 2020 at a Babies R Us in Massachusetts.
At a Toys R Us?
Babies R Us.
Oh, a Babies R Us. Okay. Yes, that makes sense because if you look in the background of a lot of the shots, especially in the warehouse, you'll notice that it has a bunch of Cuties boxes, and I recognize those. I was like, Cuties, like we have those diapers. Like those are diapers back there, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for a toy store that's called I Love Toys.
Love toys.
We love toys. That's right. With an LUV. Love. So, but I thought that was funny. It was like, if you look in the background.
Yeah.
Cuties diapers back there. All right. Yeah. So, I guess with that said, before we really,
we
go into the beer and everything. Oh, go ahead.
Looking on Wikipedia, there's only one Babies R Us left in the country.
I was going to say, that's not really a common enough store anyway. They probably were like, someone get on the phone, call Babies R Us. They got nothing better to do. They'll let us shoot there. They won't even need to shut the store down. And just
number of locations since 2023, 1. Good Lord.
Wow. Yes. The other thing that's kind of interesting is like somebody was able to pinpoint that one Babies R Us, and they're like, get Bruce Campbell on the plane. We got to get him out for that one Babies R Us.
Do you think he got flown in? He probably had to drive, take a rental car and drive, from the bowels of Michigan out there. Just in my head, I don't think he lives in like New York or California. He's still sitting in the forest of, Michigan. And
I didn't realize that was a Babies R Us, but I think you are right on the money in that the fact that it is a toy store that people are rushing out on, Thanksgiving night or Black Friday morning, not really that realistic anymore. But we can talk about that as we get into the film. But what I did want to say before we get into the beer talk or the movie is, we probably do this every year, but Thanksgiving for you, what's your favorite thing about Thanksgiving? It could be the food, it can be the family, it could be whatever.
For a dysfunctional family, it was like the one holiday where we usually weren't like at each other's throats at dinner.
Oh, that's nice.
I have fond memories of my grandmother on my mom's side when she was nearing death in her later years, squeezing the life out of everyone's hands at the table, saying, God is good, God is great.
There you go.
She knew the Grim Reaper was coming for her. It was funny. I like turkey. I'm a turkey guy. Dark meat's great. I love green bean casserole. I love good mashed potatoes. I love stuffing. Even stovetop. It's like perfect.
Yep.
The food's good. The older I get, like the less and less I eat. Though I don't get to I don't engorge myself. I don't want to feel like shit for the rest of the day. So, I just have enough and then live off the leftovers for like a week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
But, I I'm definitely like the turkey stuffing and mashed potato and green bean casserole guy. Cranberry sauce is trash. Get it off the plate. I want to go to a more, fun-loving Thanksgiving because there's places that do like mac and cheese, So I would love that if mac and cheese was added to our, staples. But, yeah.
Yeah,
if the Cowboys lose, it's even a better day.
There you go. Mine, I would say, is probably sausage stuffing. I mean, that's probably my favorite thing.
Your Uncle Bob's sausage stuffing is great.
Yeah, it's great. I love sausage stuffing so much. It was not my uncle that initially introduced me to sausage stuffing. They used to have it at. I used to go to my other family, which we don't normally see that often, and we would go to their house for Thanksgiving, and everybody would kind of make something, and one of the staples was sausage stuffing there, and it was always like spectacularly good, and have loved it ever since. And yeah, then happily my Uncle Bob also makes a really good sausage stuffing, so love to have that at Thanksgiving. It's probably what I look forward to the most because I'm not really a big home style Thanksgiving meal fan anyway. I don't really like turkey that much, even though we cook it. I don't really like it that much. And, I could take or leave mashed potatoes depending on how they're made. But I do really like sausage stuffing and some of the other sides and, also family, drinking beer, drinking wine,
Are you a green bean casserole guy?
I am not, no. You know what I do love is fried onions, the little fried onions, but that's the only reason I would actually eat green bean casserole. It's just like, I'll just eat the fried onions off the top.
Hold on, that's the main reason why it's so amazing. It's not the cream of mushroom soup that goes in it and the green beans and all that. It's the fried onions on top of it that make it, pull it all together. You got to have some, It took me forever to get there too. But, like when you get older, you're like, wow, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Like this is,
Yeah.
But another thing too, I would like to ask is, have you ever done a Friendsgiving?
Yes. To a small extent, yes. Not like everybody, not the turkey and everything else, but just the get together and the celebration and stuff like that. Yes, I have. Yeah.
Huh.
It's also nice. Probably not with you.
No.
Yeah, no offense, but no, I probably.
I just come over like a cretin, like
right,
when you guys are packing your stuff up on Thanksgiving. Like, hey,
it's not really. It's
leave
not
no leftovers.
It's more of a thing that you do with people that you don't see very often, or like they live far away. So you're like, let's do it for Friendsgiving because we don't get to see each other a lot.
The only time I ever
done.
I was saying the only time I ever done one was in college, senior year. We did Friendsgiving in one of the townhouses, and we had like 20 of us. We all brought something, to the shindig.
Nice.
Memories.
Well, it's nice. It's nice to reminisce about those Thanksgiving past. All right, let's talk about the beer that we have on the show today. I went out and I got some beer again today, and this is one that I've seen that had been released a little while ago, and I had wanted to check it out because it sounded interesting. It's a new beer from the brewery. It's from Founders, which we've had on here multiple times before. And it's their Red Sweater IPA, which comes in a 12-pack, not one of their 15-pack, monsters. And this one is a red ale style IPA, or red IPA, whatever you want to call it. And it's got a nice little can on it. It's just like a little, it's not quite holiday or Christmassy. It's just kind of like their winter offering. With like the knit sweater on it. It's nice.
It's like a Harpoon Flannel Friday.
Yeah, kind of like that. And actually, I think what Founders is doing, I'm going to call them out on it. I think this is effectively their celebration ale offering that Sierra Nevada does because it's very similar in style and look and everything else to what Sierra Nevada is doing. And I feel like Founders is like, we got to get in on that. Like, Sierra Nevada, they've kind of cornered the market on that, like Thanksgiving
Christmas
beer.
time.
Yeah. Yeah,
like
exactly.
It actually fits the season, you're like, you're like,
yep.
Wow, this isn't like, super out of the wheelhouse.
It's not just like a New England style IPA or like super citrusy, or it's not just a West Coast style IPA. It's got that nice like, malty backbone, heavy, better for the holiday season. And, I think that's pretty much what Founders is doing here with the Red Sweater IPA. That's what it really reminds me of. With that said, I think it's pretty solid as a beer. I think this is one of the better Founders offerings that I've had recently. Most of the new beers that I've had from Founders has been the All Day series, which are, meant to be a little bit less flavorful. They're meant to be sessionable. But I've not been a huge fan of any of their more recent All Day output. I think no offense, but they've gotten a little bit lazy with that stuff.
You're not wrong.
They're kind of trying to market to like a mass marketing appeal, and it's just not for me. So I've been kind of put off by Founders for a little bit, but I think that Red Sweater IPA is a nice transition back to some of the styles that they do pretty well. And again, like I said, it is pretty equivalent to the Celebration IPA in a way. It's got that red malt base to it. nicely flavorful, not like a super West Coast style IPA, but nicely hoppy without being overwhelming. I think it's just overall a nice beer to sip for the holiday season. Very much akin to the Celebration IPA. What do you think?
So I'm on number 2. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When I open this beer and you hear that pop, you know what you're going to hear?
What's up?
The best time to drink a red sweater is all the time.
That's right.
One with a little turtleneck. It's the kind. 'Cause red. Yeah, no, it's pretty good. And I'm not a red IPA fan, really. Like they were style of beer that was kind of prominent quite early in the early 2010s. A lot of people were pumping them out as as everybody was going through the rainbow palette color of, what can we do to an IPA? Black, white, red, blue. And basically it just means it's more malty and more of a nice mix of pale ale, red ale, and an IPA. So this is the first one I've had in a red IPA, I should say, in a long time.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not bad. It has like a nice bready sweetness to it and taste. Because that backbone gives it like a nice, like Oktoberfest Marzen style. And then you get hit with the big Chinook and Cascade hops. Give it that brightness. Little, very subtle hint of grapefruit. The comparison that you made to the Celebration IPA, right on. It's like a poor version of that. Not that this is bad, because the Celebration IPA is, damn good. And I'm glad to see that they did something like this too, because again, just like you, we've always been big fans of Founders on here. We've done a shit ton of their beers. But they have fallen into like the cycle that a lot of, craft breweries that have gotten a little too big for their britches, like a Saranac, like a Sam Adams, where like the offerings become less and less interesting and less, for the people who, built the brand originally and are more, to a wide audience. So this is a great fall offering. I think if they released it in tandem with the Oktoberfest, and I know Oktoberfest now gets released stupid early, but if this came out in like late September and was up into the beginning of December, I would find this to be a very delightful fall to like the beginning of winter beer, especially if you're an IPA fan. For 6.5 ABV, don't feel it at all. So drink with care, but it's, check it out, try it. I'm glad they did something different.
Yeah, agreed. All right, let's get into Black Friday. It's almost time, guys.
You did it wrong.
What's that?
Gotta say it right. Black Friday.
Black Friday. Yeah, this
Pretend-
one. Some
I say pretend you're Andy and Conan and doing,
yeah.
Blood!
Occasionally,
The Last Vampire.
I think the film has been stylized with an exclamation mark at the end. So yes, Black Friday.
It doesn't say it in the IMDb thing, but the poster has it on there, so you gotta,
That's right. You gotta enunciate.
That poster is designed for straight to Tubi. It's not bad, but
You're
it really.
right. It's got the whole like, here's the cast, like you know Michael Jai White there in the background, Bruce Campbell there in the front.
He's got to be in the forefront. He's Bruce Campbell,
It really is. It's like
poor Devon Sawa's buried in the back, and
such the generic, like, you don't know what you're gonna get with this movie, but it looks quirky, doesn't it?
Look at it. You'd think Bruce Campbell with that beautiful sweater vest and bow tie was pounding 22-year-old pussy, on a Black Friday.
Yeah, the woman next to him, what's her name there? Ivana Baquero. Yes. Yeah, so, I think this movie, like we said, it released in 2021, not much fanfare. It actually, if you look at like the reviews and ratings and stuff, it's actually not very well received either. Doesn't have a very well-known director or writer or anything like that. But you know what? this film kind of reminds me of like a Thanksgiving-y sort of Krampus in a lot of ways. It's kind of got the quirky, the horror elements. It's definitely got a lot of, like Thanksgiving crossover into Christmas, which, is kind of like the perfect, if you're on, you just had Thanksgiving, you're going to watch Black Friday. It's kind of the perfect transition. In a lot of ways, I think that works pretty well. And you know what else it reminds me of a lot is Silent Night, Deadly Night, of course, because you have sort of the toy store, toy shop sort of thing where the film is pretty much completely set in a toy store. And a lot of Silent Night, Deadly Night was obviously set in Ira's toy house, toy chest or whatever it's called. So it does remind me quite a bit of that too, which, again, conjures up fond memories of quiet nods of approval and, warm side of the door. So, but yeah, I mean, what do you think about the premise? Setting it in a toy store and basically the entire film effectively takes place in one setting and location, making it a very cheap movie to make because you've really only got to deal with one setting.
Yeah, and the box office apparently was $1,581. So, but again, it does make sense. Like if there was a reason for a film to be shot and look like this, COVID's the answer, and you can totally tell. Like it's and I'm fine with it because again, basically Dawn of the Dead, but instead of a mall, it's a toy store. So I'm fine with like the idea. I think the idea is actually really fun. That there's a monster that's going around to all these stores and converting the customers into a ridiculous hybrid, The Thing, zombies, dead space creatures that have predator cackles and chortling. So it's a fun idea. I think it works pretty damn good, and I think the setting is totally fine because, again, it's about these workers at this store and their asshole bosses. And the only thing I really take umbrage with it is that Devon Sawa, great, driving around in a fucking Buick like SUV, like the man's got money pouring out his butthole. And he's got 2 kids. His wife's divorced him. He is 10 years. We find out he's been working at this Toys R Us. Basically, we love toys. The man's like dipping into the 401k from his past job to keep these antics going up.
That's true. That's true. Because I mean, one of the big points of the movie is the fact that like these people have to work on Black Friday in a sort of what you would consider a dead end style job. Yeah. If you've been working, especially Devon Sawa's character, working at this toy store for 10 years as like, and I'm not even quite sure what exactly their roles are because a lot of times they're just skating around on roller skates through the aisles. Like, you guys finding everything? Okay, great. Like they're just kind of, you would expect, I should say, that like someone at least who's been thrown by corporate to, not issue bonus checks and after Black Friday, cut jobs, they probably would not want to be spending all of this time and a half money on having extraneous people just cruising around the store.
Not only that though, God, doesn't it seem like this is like one lawsuit waiting to happen?
Sure.
Like, corporate, we're getting bonuses. Actually, you're not getting time and a half for working the holiday.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like one big, like, lawsuit, like class action lawsuit waiting to happen. But that's why I love Devon Sawa, too, because he shows up. He's got a flask of, whatever kind of alcohol. He's pouring it in his coffee, having the time of his life. Like, I make $15 to fucking,
Yeah.
And I love too, because it is like so fucking stupid. And like, when you think about it, like, this is one of the things I hate about this goddamn country and like corporate culture and all that. Like, here's your name tag. And it's like, I've loved toys since, and like, how many years you been here? And it's like, holy shit.
Right.
Like,
yes. I like that a lot. I think the film, regardless of how you feel about the actual content of the film or whatever, I think it does a pretty good job of addressing the ridiculous consumerism and capitalism that runs rampant during Thanksgiving and Black Friday specifically, because it does actually, take some time to evaluate the characters that are in the movie and to sort of, find the ways that they are alike and that they are kind of in this dead-end job working on Black Friday for no reason really, away from their family if they care about it, but they're away from their family and friends to do this stupid job so that people can get like $2 off on their games. And it's pretty funny too, because this again reminds me of like that opening and scene in Krampus where they do show the shoppers eventually being able to come into the store, and you just see like one scenario of like this woman just like ripping games off the shelves, like here's guess, Connect 4 and Guess Who, and I'm just gonna take them all. I'll just put them all in my fucking cart. It's like just ridiculous stuff that, and I think the film does a pretty good job of addressing that idea of capitalism that runs rampant and like the victims of the capitalism game in like a Black Friday setting, because whereas like you mentioned Dawn of the Dead, this film definitely takes a lot of inspiration from Dawn of the Dead in that like they keep coming back here.
Yeah.
Why? But at the same time, it kind of sees it from the opposite viewpoint. Like the people that come back to the mall, they're obsessed with capitalism. But this time, the victims in Black Friday are literally the people that are stuck in the store on a holiday. Yeah, exactly.
And as somebody who worked retail, I worked at a convenience store for 7 years, and I worked many a goddamn Thanksgiving because they were the one store that's like, we're going to be open no matter what, so people can buy lottery and all that. That's how I got to experience your Uncle Bob's amazing sausage stuffing, because like a couple of years in a row, him and your aunt would bring us, Thanksgiving food, and it's like, thank you.
You just stop in, yeah.
Yeah, but like it is true. Like it's like, because we get to see in the beginning, Devon Sawa was dropping his kids off at their mom's house, and they're like, Thanksgiving breakfast is lame, and he's like, yeah, no shit, but I gotta go to work. And they're like, why we gotta work? And he's like, well, because heroes work on the holidays. Like, think firemen and police officers and ambulance drivers and the people who work at your We Love Toys, like like it's just so stupid. I think
that's a great line.
Like that's why at least like it's becoming more just you buy this shit online. Not that I'm for that either, but I mean it's because again like
forgo the.
I mean, let's say at the very least, Walmart is closed on Thanksgiving now. The stores are, so they're not doing this kind of stuff. But like the idea is just so fucking ridiculous. Like, hey guys, go out there after and like from 6 o'clock at night on Thanksgiving to 6 in the morning, go out there and have fun.
I know, I know, and I've also worked in retail, not much. Thankfully, I didn't work a lot of retail in my life, but for a few years, I did work at Sears when I was in college and a little bit out of college, and I definitely did work Black Friday or two. I tried my hardest to get out of it because I'd be like, I'm a college kid, I gotta go home. Like they're making me go home for the holidays. I don't have, there's the dorms are closed.
I can't stay around. Yeah.
I just make fucking shit up. Like dorms are closed. Like, they won't let me stay. But anyway, I did work a couple, and I do remember one year coming in and just again, it's overall just ridiculous. It's like no one needs to go out and on the day after Thanksgiving or the early hours after Thanksgiving and buy a fucking lawnmower. You don't, it's just not necessary. And I think that this film kind of really shows like the ways that is just absolutely ridiculous. And I think that's a great line too, that he says like, yes, all the heroes work on Thanksgiving, even people who work at I Love Toys, because it's absolutely necessary that you need to go out and buy a toy the day after Thanksgiving.
You need a dour Dennis.
That's right. I love Dower Dennis, honestly. Seth Green, I can tell that's Seth Green's voice in there.
Yeah, no, Dower Dennis is like one of the best things about this fucking movie.
My wife left me, and now I'm fucking having
the divorced dad stuff.
I do, yeah. I love the Dower Dennis. It's awesome.
It was so great too. They're like, by the way, don't sell the Dower Dennis. There's a
there's a couple.
There's a recall on the battery. It causes fire, and the like floor manager, she slaps defected onto it, and like that's great. And like the whole OSHA bit too. Like, now, guys, the most dangerous day for retail is, according to OSHA, is today, because people have been trampled and they've changed the way they track that. So be safe out there.
Yeah, I do. I love that. I love the fucking Dower Dennis. I think that's like one of the best things. Because again, too, if you look, some of the reviews and the complaints about Black Friday is that it's kind of a boring movie. And, to a certain extent, I can see the point of, even at 84 minutes, a very, very brief and brisk 84 minutes, the movie does have some lulls in it where it's kind of like just...
Could have been a 45, 50 minute,
it's kind of, it's kind
HBO
of
special.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of just doing things maybe, and maybe not, as active as it could be. And I do definitely think that COVID is a big part of that. There was a lack of extras, 100%. Like, they just did not have the staffing to do this, to do like big spectacles of 800 people running into the store. So, there were definitely limitations that the film had no control over. So I can understand some of the complaints of it being a little bit slow at times, taking a back seat, or maybe, even having sort of like a messy storyline. Because like you said, this is kind of a cross between a zombie film like Dawn of the Dead, The Thing, where like they're kind of combining into this big entity, like a kaiju type film.
Dude, I was like the whole time they were like that thing's building, and especially at the end with the monster, I was just going, Tetsuo! Like from Akira.
It definitely takes a lot of inspirations, and I think it's a little bit messy in the way that it encompasses all of those ideas. At the same time, though, I think it's pretty fun. And I think that's kind of all you can ask for a movie like Black Friday, is like that it's somewhat fun to watch, with the practical effects too from Kurtzman Studios. I think that is really good too, and something that you kind of need in a movie like this. Like if this was all CGI effects, I think it would be pretty boring, because it would just feel very unrealistic and unnatural. But because there are the actual practical effects,
it definitely adds to it. So by the end, when it's like CGI kaiju, you're at least behind it, because at the very least, like the thing, like practical effects are pretty damn good.
Yeah, and actually, I think they used a combination of not so much CGI, because I think the end scene with the kaiju is actually done as sort of like a model too. So it definitely has like the CGI fire, but it's also kind of shot as like a older style kaiju film would be, where it's like a guy in a suit that's in the background, and then kind of shot with the CGI fire and stuff happening around it. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, I think for a low budget film like this, which obviously did not have much money going into it, like you said, it has the Babies R Us setting, which probably they were just like, hey, just give us a shout in the credits, and like that's all you need for this. We'll supply the rest.
Could be an abandoned Kmart for all we know.
Yeah, exactly. I think like they got a lot of bang for their buck. And again too, this like the intimate setting of the store makes it seem like it doesn't require all that much. I think that's pretty cool. I like it a lot. I think that the film gets a bad rap for some reason, and it's really not that bad. I don't even think the script is that bad. It's pretty funny at times. I think Bruce Campbell is really
hilarious.
He's great. And I think one of the things that stands out about this movie is that he is not just carrying the movie, because you might stop it and see the poster and see, look at the trailer and be like, oh, Bruce Campbell is really the only reason they could make this movie, because like he was the draw. But I don't think that's the case. Like Devon Sawa puts in a great performance as well. And like you said, very aloof, very carefree, and just kind of like how you would imagine yourself in a situation like that. Where you're like, yeah, I've been here 10 years. I don't fucking care. You know, like I just do my job and leave. I think he's doing a great job there. And so
Well, he's also doggy styling, Ivana Baquero.
Yeah, the woman that's 20 years his junior.
So
I
listen,
I like that.
Listen, ladies, if you're 20 years younger than your man and they're getting it up, feel proud.
That's right.
Okay.
And not only
He
that,
doesn't
Devon
need boner
Sawa
pills.
looks great in that sweater.
No, he does. He looks
pretty,
great. Yeah, he looks really dapper, but
fit, dapper. Yeah.
What a guy too! Like, I'm gonna dig you off pancakes after this. Like,
Hey,
Like,
who
we're
would
gonna
turn
go.
it down?
Listen, we're gonna go ruin someone else's Thanksgiving Black Friday. Wait, we're going to Denny's getting fucking pancakes.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yes. Like we just
Like,
had
hey, by the way, we know we hate working on this shit too, but you guys are here 24/7 as well. So you know what? She wants the moon over my hammies, and I'll take pancakes.
That's right. Never ending coffee. Keep it coming. That's right. I also like at the end of the film too, 'cause I think the movie does a pretty good job of pushing away capitalism and saying like, look, at the end of the day, these people, like, no matter how much your job says, we're all a family. We should all spend time together outside of this work because we're all a family. We do things together here at work. It's like, they're not your family. You can make your family and you don't have to subscribe to the, the basic definition of a family, which is my bloodline, which, is kind of a good, moment for Chris, who's like basically like his dad's an asshole, complete asshole. And he doesn't really consider them family. And he doesn't really care to spend Thanksgiving with them, but obviously he doesn't want to spend it in a toy store either. I think there's a nice segue there between like, you can make your own family and have a nice Thanksgiving with that family. It doesn't need to be literally blood related family. And I think that's it's a nice message for this kind of irreverent film.
Not only that, though, too, I think that whole scene where they're all like, having their disagreements and tearing into each other about their character flaws.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. I think it works damn well. I don't think it's derivative, and I think like it, really shows like, everyone's character flaws and like how they all are. They hate their job and like, what it's, how they've ended up in life. Like, we hear, Brian's like, oh, I wanted to be a fucking dentist, but I've been here for 8 years or whatever. And like, Devon Sawa was like, I've been here for 10 years. I told the wife it would just be temporary after I got laid off from my job. And, Chris going like, this place used to be so magical and I loved it. I was like, I thought it was perfect and I just wanted to work here, I thought it'd be cool. And this place sucks. And I even think Bruce Campbell's part in that as the manager, like, that's like really good too. He's like, well, you know what? I've been here for 27 years. He's like, I feel like, he's like, I don't have anyone in my life. And this is all I have. And I feel, even though it bleeds more into, a little bit of sociopathy, but still, it is a real thing too. Being like, look, this is all I have. And I like, when they call me and say they need sales reports, like I feel like, I have something I have to do. I feel like I'm needed. I'm part of a team and whatever. And that's why I love this place. That whole like part, I think, to some, I feel like, it's probably going to be, derivative and feel stupid, but I like that part a lot. Like, I felt like I was being attacked when they were saying, Christopher, you're wasted potential. I'm like,
yeah. I think that it's a nice, it's great that it kind of pushes away that capitalism element and it doesn't necessarily get mired in, a socio-political discussion about it, but you might think too, with the idea being about Black Friday, it's pretty obvious where the connotations lie, but I think it does a pretty good job at having some intimate discussions about that and dealing with some various different types of characters that it has. What do you think about the way that Bruce Campbell's character kind of morphs because he's, very corporate-esque at the beginning of the film. And like by the end of the film, he's like, you know what? We're all family. I agree. And I'm going to sacrifice myself for the rest of you guys because we're all family. What do you
Love
think
it.
about
He
that?
looks great. He has a fucking-tastic mustache. He looks so dapper in that, sweater and the bow tie. He comes off as, smarmy, but a little bit of caring. Like he does kind of care. We get to see in his office when we first see him. It's like 1996, like manager runner up. Like, one, if you're a company and you give that out to somebody, I would kill you. It's like, wow, just like to have an award and be like, yeah, you were second best. Like that's, oof. Makes me, but like the fact that he's like, yeah, it's going to be, let's all have smiles and be great. And we're a family. We could do this together. Teamwork and, watching him be, devolve into like, well, fuck this anyway, this, when he finally breaks and, sacrifices himself. But he's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Charismatic as all hell. Like the whole, I'm going to go down with this ship. You don't have to. We can get out of here. No, I've been here for 27 years. God damn it, if the store's going to go out of business, I'm going to go down with it. And then like a ghoul jumps out and scares him. He's like, fuck that. And runs away. They're like, what happened going down with the ship? And he's like, I changed my mind. Like, it's just, it's really funny. So, but also too, it shows too, like, at least in my mind, like if you're a middle manager like that, like you run the store, but like when you're like telling people that like, like, oh yeah, like, oh, you're getting bonuses. And then like, no, you're not getting bonuses. Oh, yeah, I guess maybe, like you are an asshole. Like you're like that level of like, you have to be a special kind of person to, be that level of ghoulish.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
And you see that too, like Anita, the best sale, she's been employee of the month like 10 months in a row. And she's like, I'm going to tell on you, Chris, because you're going to get it right now because your shirt's not all the way tucked in. Like, oh, slap the bitch.
It's like the people right now who are like unprompted, like, I'm going to go to iced on you. Why the fuck? It's like, yeah.
It's like, shut up.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
don't you remember in the video that, they say that we all did it. Shut up.
I think they do a good job of making those two in particular pretty.
And Brian as well.
Yeah. But I think that's kind of the point too, is like these kinds of people exist in your work environment. And, this is what you'd like to see happen to them in your fantasies. But
one thing I think is really neat, but they don't go far enough with it, is I love the idea of Chris being a germaphobe in a zombie outbreak.
Yeah, right.
Great idea to see the reactions, but it doesn't, like, after a quarter of the film, they kind of drop it.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the movie where he's getting the forklift and stuff, and there's that callback to, like, why did he have to learn the forklift? I think, they do show that where he, like, touches it and it's got blood on it. He's like, yeah, I'm not that affected anymore. And, kind of, but I think at the same time, you're right. They kind of drop it to the point where it doesn't really.
Like, that would be a fun like, running gag of, like, shit blowing up and stuff around him and, like, blood being splattered on him and him being like, wait, where's my sanitizer? And again, like, it makes sense and it's funny, too, because, again, like, it's COVID during the pandemic, so, like, you have, like, all the opportunity in the world to, like, milk that shit dry. And I think it's just a little, lost opportunity.
Yeah, and it is interesting too that they don't really do much with COVID as an idea, because the film really lends itself to discussing that. And it kind of, I don't know, maybe they did it on purpose, but it seems like it really refrains on purpose from just discussing anything about it. It's kind of kind of just doesn't even mention it. So I think that's kind of interesting in and of itself, that it's kind of trying to distance itself a little bit from the pandemic idea. Because obviously at the beginning of the film, when the shoppers are coming in, is very much like a pandemic, especially when they show that one guy at the beginning. He's like, I don't feel very well. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's pretty funny. And then, the whole idea of like, oh, you got to go clean up some puke, and some guy puked his guts out all
which is fucking hilarious too. Like, go clean the puke up, and like you look at it, it's like, who's like, that's puke?
It's
like,
in the intestines all over the floor.
Like there's like an intestine, like no, that looks like a Mortal Kombat 2 like fatality happened here. Like, what's going on? Like,
yeah. But I mean, other than that though, I find, like, again, I do kind of understand the complaints about it being a little bit slow, and maybe it has some pacing issues even at 84 minutes, but I think it's a pretty fun film, and I definitely would, it's not something that I would watch every year, but I think it's a good holiday offering, especially to bridge the gap between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I think it does a good job of kind of parodying both of those. I think it's, this may be a little bit, I don't know, controversial, but I think it does a better job than Thanksgiving of parodying the holiday.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
you know
what's better too is having nice old lady Ruth be like, my first Black Friday, they were separated by race.
Yeah. Yeah. You just see Michael Jai White in the background, like, what the fuck is that? Yeah. I did like that too.
And the absurdity too, like all the like corporate, like, again, the corporate things, like, no, we're calling it Green Friday now because Black Friday is racist.
Yeah. Yep.
And because it gets people to think of, money and Christmas.
That's right.
They need Scott Calvin on their team, Santa driving down the street in a Panzer.
Yep. What else? Anything else that we didn't talk about here? There's a Child's Play, a quick little Child's Play.
I was gonna say, there are quite a lot of like Dawn of the Dead remake and original nods, like the whole truck and like, all that.
Yep.
Very Dawn of the Dead like.
Yeah, man.
I really do appreciate like the thing like effects and looks of the monsters. I think it would have been better if there was a consistency to all of that. Because again, it's such a mishmash of like Thing, Akira, Gojira, zombies. Just like, I think if they went more with like them turning into thing-like creatures, I think that'd be, funner, because all the effects of like the stuff of like poor Michael Jai White gets fucking, like Spider-Man gooped and pulled up and killed. I think
yeah,
but I like it a lot though. I do like this film a lot though.
There's definitely no dearth of the references that it has. It certainly wears a lot of its references on its sleeve, and it's very much a product of all of those things combined, which I think maybe lends itself to why it can be a little bit messy, but at the same time, I really appreciated all the references and all the things that it does, and I think it's, at the end of the day, just a fun movie. You kind of, if it's fun enough, you kind of can forgive some of the more excruciating elements of it, or things that maybe would not work in other movies. And at the same time too, you have to just really appreciate the practical effects in it, to the point where it's obvious that there was a labor of love in a lot of ways. They didn't go the easy route and just be like, everything's going to be CGI'd. They definitely could have. It could have been even cheaper to just everything's CGI'd here. But the practical effects, like the various zombie-esque designs of the makeup, all really great. And I found it really entertaining to watch for 80 minutes of the, it's really short too. It's like, it's really brisk. I feel like it goes by pretty fast. So, overall, just really fun. So On a scale of 0 to 10, drinks, whatever he's pouring into the drinks before they open the doors. What do you think he's drinking? What do you think Devon Sawa brought in that flask that he brings? What's he got? Is it whiskey? Is it brandy?
I'm gonna keep it seasonal.
Okay.
Peppermint.
Oh, peppermint schnapps.
Schnapps.
I actually literally just went out and bought peppermint schnapps today.
Oh.
Yeah.
I see a TikTok video of a fun, not Halloween. I was gonna say fun holiday mixed drink is vanilla spiced eggnog and Dr. Pepper.
Oh wow.
And then you put like some, if you want to, like
Interesting.
liquor in it. I think that'd be very good. But I would think like peppermint schnapps or something, or maybe it's just like straight vodka. Like he's got Mr. Boston's in the back, and
that's right.
That's great though. He's been working 10 years and he's sitting there pulling little snips into his coffee and stuff, and no one's like, I can, we can smell that, like,
yeah,
like we can smell that, Ken. Yeah, but I'm selling rollerblades, and
yeah.
But I'll give it a 7 out of 10 of mysterious liquor being poured into people's coffees. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm very pleasantly surprised by it. And I was kind of going in thinking like, it's gonna, just be Bruce Campbell and a bunch of jabronis and stuff happens. It's a really fun film. Devon Sawa's great. Alana Baccaro's great. Ryan Lee's great. Michael Jai White's always great. Everyone does a great job. Again, with Seth Green, with Howard Dennis's voice, he's, it's all hilarious. It's a great concept. It's a lot of fun. Again, I do understand it, people's critiques of it, because I not necessarily on the story. I would say yes, it does. Even at an hour and 24 minutes long, it is sluggish in parts. The third act feels like it goes on for forever, and you get a lot of like false finishes.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like it could be like a 1 hour, like Tales from the Crypt episode. But I think overall, though, it doesn't really matter. It's fun if you're a horror fan. This is a lot of fun. Has a lot of great homages into it. It's perfect for Thanksgiving, Black Friday. And especially under the circumstances in which it was made, it's like a little engine that could. So 7 out of 10. Liked it a lot. Very surprised. Bruce Campbell, as always, hilarious and amazing. So I would recommend it and say check it out.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would give it a 7 out of 10 as well. I think that it's a pretty fun movie overall. I definitely had a much better time with it than I expected to have. I thought that based on the reviews and everything, that it was not going to be that great. But overall, I think it's really fun. I think it matches some of the tone and the entertainment value of something like Krampus or Silent Night, Deadly Night, and brings a holiday seasonal offering to that. That's kind of somewhat different than what you would get from a traditional Christmas horror movie. Overall, I really appreciated the practical effects and the references that it had to various different horror movies of the past. And I think it does a really good job. Bruce Campbell's the GOAT, but Devon Sawa is really great here too. I think he's also just in it for the game. He's just having fun, and it shows. Everybody seems to just be having like a fun time. And maybe that's also due to COVID a little bit, where there's a huge pause on making movies. And at a certain point, they were like, you know what, we're going to try to cautiously go back and make movies. And, people were just like ecstatic to be out there and doing things and making movies again. So, that kind of shows. And again, you can see the elements of the pandemic here, that it's a little bit lower budget. It doesn't have extras. You can see the limitations. But at the same time, I think that you can also forgive those things, recognize the context in which it was made, and have fun with the movie, and just kind of, it's a really, entertaining movie to put on for the holiday season, especially that limbo period between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So 7 out of 10 for me. Actually enjoyed it quite a bit. Probably one of the better holiday horror movies that I've seen recently. And that also reminds me of talking about holiday horror movies. pretty soon we're going to need to go see the new Silent Night, Deadly Night remake that's happening, which honestly, from what I've seen in all of the various advertisements and constant like social media promotion, I'm guessing that it is very bad. Honestly, I'm guessing that it is not a good movie.
Could it be any worse than I Know What You Did Last Summer?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing like it has to be okay in that they were like, let's throw it to theaters, because this definitely screams like Shudder original style, you know, release it to streaming something. But to me, it looks bad. It seems bad. All of, you know, the amount of publicity they're putting into it, like Reddit posts about it, like, have you seen this trailer for the new Silent Night? That all tells me this movie probably fucking sucks. And they're just trying to get as many people to go out and see it as possible. But we're still going to go try and see it. Because honestly, it's a little bit surprising, especially considering the remake Silent Night that came out. What was that, like 8 years ago or something that we did on the show, like, I don't know, however long ago. And that one didn't even get a theatrical release. Like, what the fuck is happening where we're getting a new Silent Night, Deadly Night remake in theaters? It's just kind of surprising to me. But I still think it's going to be garbage, but we'll definitely see it. And we'll report back on what we think. So I think that'll be...
Listen, if there's no warm side of the door, I'm walking out of the theater.
I know.
I will stand up and like, if I don't see somebody being like, hey buddy, you want some vodka? No, sir. I have milk.
That will immediately...
There'll be thunder and lightning.
That'll immediately show that this is not a labor of love. Like, that's not, it's not like a thing that people wanted to remake. They just wanted the name alone and like the idea of Santa Claus as a killing, you know, which is not abnormal in a Christmas movie, horror movie anymore. Like Santa Claus killing things is like the most unoriginal idea that you can have for a Christmas movie now.
One of this podcast, I had no contribution to it though. One of this podcast and Ryan's original works of masterpiece is taking Silent Night, Deadly Night for the full runtime, having the opening credits and end credits, but the rest of the film just be warm side of the door.
That's right.
You gotta check it out.
That's right. Yeah, I'll have to post it here again pretty soon as we get into the holiday season, and I'll also post the obvious Christmas with John Saxon as well, the Yule log that we have, because that's
also a masterpiece.
Yeah, that was another fun one to do, and we might need to update it or do some other things. But
it sure is. Yay! Jack Frost!
Yeah. Like we also, there's Udo Kier as well, who just recently passed away. Yeah. Maybe we could do a Yule log with Udo Kier. But I'll have to post all those. But yeah, it's a preview into what's to come for.
You know what? Maybe one day we're gonna have to, like, for one of the big episodes, we'll have to redo Silent Night, Deadly Night, because that is actually one of our shortest episodes.
Yeah.
It's only like 40 minutes long.
Yeah, redo it and give it another viewing and all that.
See. I mean, granted, we don't. We're pretty consistent on time of episodes now. We always hover around an hour to an hour and 10 now. So,
yeah,
no more 2 hours and half, 2.5 hour reviews of Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Yeah, and I think that's just normal because people's attention spans waver, and once you get a little bit past an hour, it's it's past
I'm a sucker for those long podcasts. Dan Carlin, give me a 6 hour historical.
Yeah. It goes a little bit different though.
Historical context on the Nords being converted to Christianity.
Right.
This is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, but I will, after this week we will be back with more episodes for our Festivus Series, which I don't know. We've got so many now. I have a playlist somewhere of how many episodes we've done, but we've done a lot of Festivus episodes. Yeah. It gets harder and harder every year to be like, Oh yeah,
What do
what's
we
the next Christmas movies that we haven't done before? But we'll find some. I have a couple that I
What
don't think
if-
we're going to do. So.
Is there like Robert Goulet Christmas specials we could do?
I don't know. Yeah, it'd be fun. The mistakes right in the lake.
Well, as I say, speaking of, with Trump's nice turtleneck and how he was looking the other day.
Yep.
He was looking Goulet.
He really was, yeah. It was great. It was actually great. He should stick with that look. It's probably,
Don't put the toner on. Keep
That's
the big turtleneck like he's Gregory Peck and Goulet. Yeah, no, it was awesome. But
yeah. So, yeah. All right, well, we should end this, but definitely check out. We'll be back next week with our Festivus Series. We'll be starting that, and we'll go all December long. So you want to tune in for that. If you want to get notifications and all that, you should subscribe on pretty much any podcast app that you listen to. I'm sure we're on it. So subscribe, leave us a nice review. We're on Facebook and Blue Sky. Search for us on there, Blood and Black Rum Podcast. We have an email address at bloodandblackrumpodcast@gmail.com where you can write to us. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, what movies you want us to watch. We'll take that into consideration. And you can also donate to us on our Patreon page. Anything you donate goes back towards beer. So we appreciate that in advance. Again, thanks for listening to our episode for Black Friday. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving or had a great Thanksgiving. And hopefully you don't spend too much or go out too much on Black Friday and ruin a bunch of employees' days. So keep that in mind if you're looking for the next big deal. You're ruining somebody's life by going out. So until next time, though.
take care.